Ladies and gentlemen, is Raila Odinga exiting Kenyan politics? Because just the other day, a few weeks ago, Raila Odinga announced to the country that he was taking a break from Kenyan politics.
I'm not going to be very active in Kenyan politics henceforth, as I continue now to focus my attention on the continental campaign. But it is a phase, it is a transitional phase from active participation in Kenyan politics to moving towards African continental politics.
And today, Raila Odinga shocked the entire ODM fraternity when he named Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o as the new party leader in his absence.
There really therefore is no need for the sort of speculation, innuendo, and propaganda that surrounds our meetings. Having said that, these are the resolutions of this committee meeting following the meeting we've had. Number one, that in light of the grueling campaign by our party leader and the need for him to focus on this for the AU chairmanship, he has designated His Excellency Honorable Peter Anyang Nyong'o, the Governor of Kisumu, to chair any and such meetings of this committee, the Central Committee, that may become necessary during periods of his absence. For those of you not familiar with the constitution of ODM, the Central Committee is the only organ of the party that is chaired by the party leader, and that therefore, for him to concentrate on his campaigns as the chairperson for the chairpersonship of the AUC, he has designated the Governor of Kisumu, His Excellency Peter Anyang Nyong'o, to chair the meetings of this committee whenever he will not be able to attend. Number two.
That move by Raila Odinga has really annoyed the Sia Governor James Orengo. Because by yesterday, James Orengo was so sure that the Central Committee of ODM Party was going to name him as the acting party leader. But now Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o is the party leader. In this video, I want us to do a critical analysis about the appointment of Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o by Raila Odinga as the ODM party leader, and why James Orengo is angry, and why James Orengo was actually frustrated in his bid of becoming the ODM party leader. But before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, by yesterday, James Orengo was so sure that he was going to be named the party leader. But a lot of things happened yesterday and today. And when the Central Management Committee met today, I'm told none of the members proposed the name of James Orengo. But Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o was almost endorsed by everybody. First of all, let us look at ODM position as far as Anyang Nyong'o's appointment is concerned, because ODM party has actually made some clarification. This is what ODM party is saying. Clarification. The ODM party leader is Raila Odinga. However, due to the nature of AUC chairperson's campaign, which requires his direct involvement, he has designated Professor Anyang Nyong'o, the governor of Kisumu County, to chair meetings of the Central Management Committee, which is the only organ of the party that he chairs. So which means Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o is not going to be the chair, or is not going to be the party leader of ODM party. The party leader is going to remain Raila Amolo Odinga. But Anyang Nyong'o will only chair the Central Management Committee. I don't think this is the first time Raila Odinga is nominating Nyong'o to chair this committee in his absence. If my memory serves me right, I think at some point, sometimes back there, Raila Odinga had actually designated Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o to act in that capacity. So the ODM is saying that Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o is not the party leader. So let us leave that at that. Let us look at the second thing, which is Raila Odinga's exit strategy. Because if you ask me, And as someone who has been studying Raila Odinga, I'm convinced that Raila Odinga is exiting the national politics, whether it's going to succeed at the AU or not. And the exit, in my view, is well calculated. The first thing Raila Odinga did was to ensure that he dealt with his allies within the party. What did he do? Raila Odinga ensured that the two deputy party leaders, that is Joho and Oparanya, joined the government. Raila also ensured that the national chairperson of the party also joined government, that is Mbadi. He also ensured that the minority leader, Opiyo Wandayi, who was also competing to become the party leader in ODM party, joined the government, which means those individuals can no longer serve ODM in any capacity. Some people argued that the reason why Raila Odinga did that was that he didn't want these guys to continue eyeing the party leader's position. He wanted to send them away so that in case he will decide to come back, he will still remain the party leader. But I'm looking at it from a different perspective, that maybe Raila Odinga just wanted to leave the party with his allies. Then a new crop is going to come in. And the fact that Professor Anyang Nyong'o's appointment is temporary, maybe they are going to call for elections. I'm not so sure. But I don't want to rule out the possibility of Raila Odinga's exit strategy from the party. Now, let us look at the third thing, which is the appointment of Nyong'o. Why do you think Raila Odinga picked on Peter Anyang Nyong'o? Before we do that, allow me to introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile money app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money back to Kenya. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered instantly into Mpesa, Airtel Money, and of course, if you want, directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think they picked on Anyang Nyong'o instead of James Orengo? In fact, I want you guys to wait for the reasons why James Orengo was not appointed. But why do you think they picked on Anyang Nyong'o? In my view, it's about the safe return of Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is going for the AU. He might succeed or he might not succeed. If Raila Odinga were to succeed, probably might decide to serve until 2027, then come back and contest. We want a situation where he can easily come back and his return will be safe. I don't think Professor Anyang Nyong'o has any ambition beyond that. But I'm going to give you the reasons why Nyong'o was appointed. But let us look at why James Orengo was locked out. Because by yesterday, those who know, James Orengo was already celebrating. That is the fact. But today, the Central Management Committee decided not James Orengo. James Orengo committed some mistakes, which annoyed those who call the shots in the party. I'm not so sure whether James Orengo remembers these mistakes, but for me, I'll just remind him. He was marked at that time, just like Babu Owino was marked. I know most of you have been wondering why Babu Owino is never overlooked in ODM party. Immediately after the last election, let me explain to you why Babu Owino is marked first, then I'm going to explain to you why the mistakes Orengo committed. After the last election, Mbadi was convinced during the last election to pull out of the Homa Bay gubernatorial seat election. Raila Odinga was so sure of going to win the seat, the presidency. So Mbadi was told, don't go for that seat. When I become the president, I was going to appoint you. I will appoint you as the cabinet secretary for treasury. Of course, Mbadi is now the treasury, the PS for treasury. Things went the way they went. Raila did not win. So which meant Mbadi had to be given safe landing. So the safe landing for Mbadi was nomination to parliament. He was nominated to parliament. Immediately Mbadi was nominated to parliament, then he served in the previous parliament as the minority leader. It meant that he could not become the minority leader because he was not elected. That's why Opiyo Wandayi was appointed. So a safe landing had to be found for Mbadi within parliament. And a decision was arrived that the person who was going to chair the pack was none other than John Mbadi. By that time, Babu Owino had actually expressed his interest of becoming the chair of the pack. I was told at that time that during that meeting, Babu Owino banged the table on Raila Odinga and of course on everybody. That is when Babu Owino was marked. Now let me tell you the moment James Orengo was marked. Immediately after the last election, for those who remember, William Ruto went to India. Who accompanied William Ruto to India? ODM governor, ODM governor for Siaya, James Orengo. By that time, there was no talk. He was marked. You might not know, but he was marked. Then William Ruto came to Nyanza at some point. James Orengo was the only governor who received him at some time. At that time, things were still very hot. Was marked. Then now, when ODM decided now we are going to work with William Ruto, and they picked their expert and appointed, asked Ruto to appoint to the cabinet. Who opposed? James Orengo. So the questions which are being asked, what is his interest? So James Orengo was marked. And those I've talked to are also telling me that James Orengo already has or had a team he wanted to work with, that he was going to do away with these other guys. He was going to craft his own team. So the fear was that James Orengo was going to run solo, just like the way he was opposed to the broad-based government. Then he started supporting it. And remember, for those who've been following the politics of the Republic of Kenya, James Orengo has an history with Raila Odinga. So there's that feeling that he was trying to do things on his own way. Yesterday, Orengo, through Aladwa, mobilized 47 ODM chairpersons to Nairobi. The aim was to have those ODM chairpersons from all the 47 counties to come and declare Orengo as the party leader. He did not seek for any approval. He did not even share with anybody. So when the county chairman arrived, then they were asked what was the meeting for. That's when the declaration of Orengo was actually stopped. So people are like, what is his interest? And that's how now, today, people arrived at Professor Peter Anyang Nyong'o's name. Peter Anyang Nyong'o has been nominated because of three things only. Number one, experience. For those who follow ODM politics, Professor Anyang Nyong'o served as the Secretary General of ODM party at some point. During those periods, the party was run perfectly. So there's a feeling that when he was the SG, he was able to effectively run the party. And because of that, majority of ODM party members were comfortable. There's also this issue of Orengo, that Orengo is not picking up calls. Even from Orengo doesn't pick up calls. So that has been something which has been there. That if he can't pick calls, how will he run the party? The party will require the chairman to talk to him, the ordinary people to call him, send him messages. I want to tell you something about Raila Odinga. He picks calls and he also calls people at times. Personally, sometimes calls me. When there's some issue, maybe I need clarification, I can text him, he can call me. Orengo is being accused that he's not doing that. Nyong'o commands a lot of respect within the party. And in fact, that is the advantage he has. Very few people had issues with Anyang Nyong'o. For Orengo, he's being accused of so many things. If I get time, I can share with him. And that can explain why, at the peak of his campaign, he then decided now to start moving around with Gaucho. Because he was being accused that Orengo is just doing things solo. Just those things that when he became the governor for Siaya, ODM party recommended some names. You know, party normally recommends a few names for those elected to appoint. That Orengo did not. And even those he appointed, he never survived with them. And of course, Professor Anyang Nyong'o doesn't have the presidential ambitions in the future. So it's a safe hand. Yeah, there are other stories which probably I cannot talk about on this particular platform. The only disadvantage is that most of you have not subscribed to my members only. There are just a few people there, so there are certain details I would want to put there, but because guys are not subscribed, sometimes I feel like there's no need. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.